I've had a long day, so I'm just gonna answer it like this. When I mini shifted to my MCU DR. I didn't completely open my eyes, but I saw the light from my balcony door to my left, and I felt the surroundings change, and I know I was in a different room. I felt the temperature change. I felt just like the vibe in the room become different. I heard a door slam, and I saw the light from the balcony. Time-wise, I was kind of sort of in the void state, because I was doing the void state method. So it's kind of difficult to tell really how long I was there for. I'd say mere minutes. It took place, I would say, if we're combining the fact that I heard the door slam happened first, and then if we're combining the fact that I felt the surrounding change and I saw the light, I think that was probably about me kind of having one foot in the DR door, as it were, for about 5 minutes, maybe less. Most likely less, and it just felt like longer because it was overwhelming, but I never opened my eyes and I never moved. Don't mind me, I'm in the middle of crocheting, but I figured I would go ahead and answer this while I was doing this. My best guess is probably yes. I know that feeling of being so super close, but then something kind of blocks you. Every time I have ever had a lucid dream and tried to shift through it, and I've attempted to make some sort of portal, I have either just ended up in another lucid dream, or I have been completely ejected from my sleep. I think after shifting the first 3 or 4 lucid dreams that I had where I tried to shift, I just flat out was ejected from my dream and I woke up immediately. Ever since then, when I attempt to shift through a lucid dream, I just end up in another lucid dream. Now, I have looked into it within the shifting community, and something that I know a lot of us struggle with is immediately attempting to shift without fully grounding ourselves. I always thought becoming aware that I was dreaming was me grounding myself, like me being like, okay, well, I know what's up now. If this happens to you again and you realize that you are lucid dreaming, find a way to ground yourself. Always definitely do reality checks just in case. Reality checks for me really help with the grounding process. I suggest finger counting. That's the easiest for me. And if you want to continue trying to shift through lucid dreams, count your fingers throughout the day to make sure you have 5, so that when you get into dreams eventually, it'll be easier for you to lucid dream again. And I also suggest writing down your dreams every morning when you wake up. I just do mine in a note on my phone. But when you're actually in the dream and you're aware, you become lucid. I feel like I get closer when I attempt to ground myself. My best thing that I say that you should do: firmly plant your feet on the ground and kind of wobble from side to side. Become aware of your weight moving and go like this. Become aware and kind of to yourself mentally, not necessarily out loud, because sometimes you dream with other people in the room and it's weird if you just start talking out loud. But sometimes I just kind of take a minute, take a deep breath. I don't necessarily close my eyes, because for some reason, closing my eyes for long periods of time in my dreams, messes things. I don't want to say it messes things up, but it gets all wobbly. That's hard to explain. But I kind of go like this and kind of wobble from side to side, and mentally I'm like, okay, I got this. I'm here. I'm aware. I feel myself. I know what I'm doing. Just take some deep breaths. And I think that'll definitely help for next time. But yeah, I think that you were. I think you maybe just needed to ground yourself a little better.
Nice onesie. Does it come in men's?
Oh, I think you come in men enough for all of us.
See, but like, even if you're right, which you're not, even if these people are right, and it's not real, and I'm just crazy, you don't know me. Why do you give a shit? I'm gonna keep doing me. You keep spreading your negativity on the internet with your bad self, and I'm just gonna continue to eat my popcorn and laugh at you. I'm pausing my video game to answer this, because I've seen a lot of people who have been misinformed or confused about this, and I thought I would go ahead and explain. Lucid dreaming and shifting are two different things. Lucid dreaming is a thing that happens when you are asleep and you become aware that you are dreaming, but you are still only dreaming and none of it is real. Everything feels kind of foggy, not very clear. Like, if you count your fingers, you won't have the right amount of fingers. Your reflection will look weird. People will act weird, do weird stuff. It feels like a dream. It's hazy, it's fuzzy, it's disconnected. It's a dream, you just know you're dreaming. Shifting is real. It is a real life like this one. I could get very complicated about it and explain like the different theories of how it works, like multiverse versus consciousness theories. And there are some people who believe in a combination of both. But I'll explain it in the simplest way possible. Other realities with other versions of ourselves exist. And shifting is the concept of becoming aware of a version of yourself in another reality. Not creating that reality, not suddenly traveling there or appearing there, but becoming aware of yourself in another place and living out a life in another place. I've seen a lot of people talk about this practice being similar to, but very different from, things like astral projection, and that the concept of shifting is like derived from Hinduism and Buddhism. I have never personally dove very deep into that level of the research, but I've spoken to multiple people who have. Shifting has been very popularized on the internet by people who are shifting to places like Hogwarts or Marvel or Stranger Things. Stuff that's like fictional here but is real elsewhere where those people exist. But there are also people who are shifting to idealized childhoods, a better version of their original reality where maybe they have more money or live in a nicer house. Some people shift to places purely so that they can get really good therapy and deal with personal issues, or maybe one where they can just travel the world without going broke. Everyone's reasons for shifting and destinations for shifting are different. But the main difference between lucid dreaming and shifting is lucid dreaming is not real. It is a dream. Shifting is a real thing that you can actually experience, and people can have real lives because of it. So because I feel like it needs to be reiterated yet again, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about respecting the boundaries of shifting content creators. I posted a video about 8-ish months ago where I was putting in my rules for if someone wanted to script me into their DR. I'm not gonna go looking for it in order to put a screenshot on here, but essentially it was all stuff like, I must be over the age of 21, don't script me in as your parent, don't script me in as your love interest, don't script in, physical harm or unaliving to me, very basic normal stuff. And I received these two comments on that just now. Oh girl, trust no one scripting you in as their love interest. But also, why does it matter if they script you in as a parent or whatever? You're not physically there. Firstly, for those who give a shit, don't worry, I blocked this person because they're disrespectful. Secondly, I really think we need to have the boundaries conversation again. First of all, don't fucking open your mouth and talk about if I'm someone's love interest or not. I get it, I'm not your cup of tea. You think that I look like a fucking toe. I understand that. But at least I'm brave enough to put my face on the internet and you didn't even have a profile picture. Next. I don't want to be someone's parent and I shouldn't have to have a fucking reason for that. I understand that there are realities where I have children, but I don't want to know about them. I'm not comfortable with the idea of having kids. Not biologically, not adopting, nothing. I have chosen not to be a parent in this reality. In none of the realities that I am shifting to do I have children. I have also made sure to put in place that I will not have children in any reality that I shift to, no matter what. I shouldn't have to come on here and explain my reasons for why I don't want people I don't know, which is essentially who my followers are, people I don't know, strangers on the internet, scripting me, another stranger who they don't actually know, into their DR as a parent. At the end of the day, we don't actually know each other. I don't want someone to script me in as a parent or a love interest or anything like that and go and have these situations with me and then come back and tell me about it. A parent and child relationship is not something I want in any capacity, which means I don't want to know about realities where I do want those things and where I am a parent. And just like I don't want to be scripted as someone's love interest, I don't want someone I don't know to decide that they get to enter an emotional and physical and romantic relationship with me and then come to me and tell me about it or look at me as a partner. I already have a partner in this reality. I have that shit covered already. And I shouldn't have to explain the parent part either, because I don't want to. And again, I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to come on here and explain my trauma to you guys. I shouldn't have to come on here and explain my mental illnesses and overstimulation issues to you. I shouldn't have to come on here and explain my mental disabilities to you. I shouldn't have to come on here and talk to you about my history at all. I'm not comfortable with the idea of being a parent in any capacity. But regardless, even if I did not have all of these things, and it was literally just, I don't want you to do it, period, end of sentence with no reason behind it, that is fucking enough. My boundaries don't require any sort of explanation. You guys are strangers. You don't know the people that are creating shifting content and posting stories and motivations. The people you follow, you don't know us. We are people just like you. If we don't want to be scripted in as your parents or your lovers, don't do it. If we don't want to be scripted in as your siblings or your friends, don't do it. If we don't want to be scripted in at fucking all, don't do it. Because I've seen this happen to other creators before where they've put these boundaries in place of saying, don't script me in if I'm under a certain age. Don't script me in as being related to you. Don't script me in as being your lover. Hell, don't even script me in at all. And then people in their comments going, but why not? But I want you there. But I want you to be my mom. But I want you to be my boyfriend. Whichever thing they happen to come up with. Or people coming in and going, I'm just going to do it anyway. Or I don't understand why you don't want us to do that. It's none of anyone's business. I would really love if people in this community would remember that shifting creators are people. I'm not mad about the part where this person is saying, trust me, no one is scripting you in as their love interest. I don't need everyone to think that I'm fuckable. I am not everyone's cup of tea. Okay, I understand that. I understand that there are people who are going to look at someone who has pink hair, even though it looks kind of bluish purple in this lighting, and think that I'm attractive. I don't need people to look at me as a fat girl and think that I'm attractive. I don't need people to look at my facial structure and find me attractive. I don't care. I have a loving and beautiful partner who is the light of my fucking life, and I have plenty of partners in other DRs. I don't fucking need everyone here to find me attractive, because quite frankly, I don't care. I don't know you guys. I don't need you to find me attractive. What gets me is the parent thing. And honestly, it's the questioning it at all. Even if I just popped up and said, do not script me in your DR as having blonde hair. Even if it sounds stupid to you, I have a reason, but I don't owe you that reason. Shifting creators do not owe you the reasons and histories behind their boundaries. Shifting creators do not owe you answers to your questions. Shifting creators do not owe you bonds and relationships at all. We're people. We're allowed to have boundaries and create those boundaries and tell you to fuck yourself if you disrespect those boundaries. I don't care if this seems rude. I don't care if this seems aggressive and abrupt. If you don't like it, you can also unfollow me or you can block me. I don't care. Because if you're someone who thinks that me being aggressive about people openly trying to disrespect each other's boundaries or question each other's boundaries is wrong, I don't need you here anyway. I have seen this kind of shit run really great creators off the app. People who I knew, people I was in a mutuals, people I was mutuals with. Really nice, kind, creative, interesting creators have been on this platform and given their whole heart into the creation of their videos, and then been crapped on by people who didn't care about their boundaries or respecting them. At the end of the day, creators are strangers to you. Please, for the love of the gods, stop acting like they owe you answers or reasons for their boundaries. Either respect the boundaries or fucking hit block.
Is that what's happening?
100%.
Yeah. And what gave you the confidence?
Delusion.
What is that? I personally believe that that was unnecessary.
So what if I'm getting a little male attention?
Getting a lot more than a little.
Not from anyone that matters.
I must express myself. If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me!
So sometimes I get so focused on my Marvel DR that I forget about my other DRs, quite honestly. And then I randomly remember them and I get really excited because I'm like, oh my god, you're an option! Like I forget that I'm allowed to shift somewhere other than the DR I try to shift to the most often. And then I'm like, oh, I wish I could go to this other place too. And then I stop and I'm like, wait, fucking nothing is stopping me from also going there.
No, and I hope that she's okay, and I felt super bad, but I'm also like,
I love her, but like,
I love her, but she is an attention whore.
We were running out through the storm, through the night. We were running in the dark. We were falling in the house, and we would fall down. We would slowly fall apart. We were slowly falling to the dark. We were running out through the storm, through the night. We were running in the dark. We were falling in the house, and we would fall down. We would slowly fall apart. Slowly falling to the dark.
Every single day, I think of things that I need to put in all of my scripts. Today that thing is getting rid of my fucking allergies. Because I've been sneezing all day and I've had a headache since like Thursday. I am done with my head exploding.
This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
See, this is, I'm very, very passionate about this. This is my passion. I think about this all the time. I wake up and go to bed thinking about this.
I'm sorry, I'm just now getting to this. I had a lot of trouble sleeping last night, and I slept through all of my alarms, and now I have to rush to get ready before therapy. So I'm gonna explain this in sleepy person version way of explaining this. Shifting, or reality shifting, is the concept of becoming aware of yourself and your life in another reality. There used to be a really big misconception in the community that you were traveling to another place or that you were creating another place, but you're not. The place that you would want to go already exists. It's based on the idea in one of the more popular theories that anything exists and that the slightest change in something you do is different in another place. If you've ever seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it's like that. But not exactly, because that's a movie. But it's the best example I can think of at this time. Some people believe it is like the film, where there is multiple realities, and then other people believe that it's more of a subconscious thing. And then there's a lot of us who believe it's a combination of the two things, or maybe even something different altogether that we don't know how to name or label yet. I'm personally one of the people that believes it's kind of a combination of two things, but I also kind of don't care, if that makes sense. Reality shifting was popularized on the internet a few years ago because people were shifting to places like Hogwarts or the MCU or Stranger Things or a bunch of stuff like that. But there are also people that I've seen who shift to realities where they're purely just going to be able to work on schoolwork or study, people who go simply to rest and relax. I've seen people that they go to certain realities just because they want to be able to be matched up with the perfect therapist and get the medical help that they need. I've seen other people that they go just so they can travel because they don't have the ability or the finances to travel here. I've seen people that shift to have idyllic childhoods so they can heal childhood trauma and grow up in a safe environment. Everyone's reasons and locations for shifting are different, but no less valid and no less real. Shifting is often discussed in the same realm as things like astral projecting or lucid dreaming, but they are all three very different concepts. It is the most often compared to lucid dreaming, but the big difference is that lucid dreaming is not real, shifting is. Lucid dreaming, you can't completely feel or control what's happening, and it only happens when you sleep. Time doesn't quite match up. You are literally, it's exactly what it sounds like. You are just dreaming, except you happen to become lucid, but it still feels foggy and like there's a veil of disconnect. Shifting is 100% real. It is exactly like this reality. You talk to people in your reality, you see everything, you feel everything, you smell everything. There is no veil of disconnect. Sorry, I stopped to sneeze. But it is 100% real. The people in the reality you shift to, called your desired reality, are real. The places you go are real. The life you live is real. The experiences you have are real. There is a version of you in an infinite number of realities, whether it's a version of you that does live in the MCU and is an Avenger, or lives within the Star Wars universe, or goes to Hogwarts, or a version of you that it's just like this reality except you're like super rich and 6 inches taller. I don't know. There's a reality right now where I didn't answer this message right now, and I waited until I was more woken up. And then there's this one where I did it right now. There's another one where I did it as soon as the comment came in. There's another one where you never commented this. There's another one where your comment had different wording. You know, like anything is possible, and it's all different. Shifting may be the term that has been coined upon it since, I believe, 2020. I don't think it started on TikTok. I believe the term shifting is coined from Tumblr, but the concept kind of became popularized by Shifttok, or shifting TikTok. But you can find a lot of people also talking about it on subreddits and shifting Twitter. Shifting Tumblr is still a thing. There's even some people on shifting Instagram. And then there's accounts like my own YouTube account where we discuss shifting in long form video. But shifting itself, like the actual concept, has been around for a very long time. And there's been a lot of videos of people having discussions with older people or their parents or other relatives who have been shifting for a long time and just didn't know the word for it. There's also people who have shifted completely by accident. And I have heard people within the shifting community talk before about the fact that it's something that has been practiced in, I believe, Hinduism and Buddhism for a very long time, but I haven't done a lot of personal dive into that part of the research yet. And I know I just did a very large amount of talking, and I'm probably talking in circles because I'm tired, but I do hope that it's answering something. But essentially, it is the concept that there are other realities besides our own, no matter what theory you go with for how it works, but that there are other realities besides the one that we live in, and that you are finding a way to kind of attune yourself with the version of yourself in the reality you're trying to get to, and become aware of that version of yourself, and I guess get there. Like it's really hard because like get there sounds like a travel term, and it's not like you're like fucking off and walking down a road, you know, but like you're attuning into yourself, you're becoming aware of your senses and of yourself, and it's kind of like slipping into that version of yourself is the way that I like to see it. A lot of people are going to have very different views about shifting than I have. A lot of different people have been shifting for different amounts of time, or they've shifted to different places. Some people haven't shifted at all. I personally haven't fully shifted. I have mini shifted, where I felt the reality around me change, and I felt and heard things that were not physically possible in this reality, but I did not open my eyes. I kind of like to think of it as having one foot in this reality, one foot in that one. But it is very real. A lot of us have had very real experiences, and there are people that I have spoken to and people that I follow that they have very real experiences in these other places. People who have very real friends, family, loved ones. I've spoken to people before that they have partners, they have children, they have jobs. Like, it's very real. They are living lives in other places and having adventures and making memories in places other than this one. So hopefully that helps, and that I didn't just ramble for like 7 minutes. And if I did, I'm sorry.